Robin Williams, The Light in the Darkness. I think the reason I make people laugh is because I know what it feels like to want to cry with no one noticing. Some people are born to make the world shine brighter. Robin Williams was one of them. He wasn't just a comedian, not just an extraordinary actor. He was a gentle soul, a beacon of light in the darkness. Whenever he walked into a room, the energy shifted. Whenever he spoke, the world erupted in laughter. But when the stage lights dimmed, who was there to make Robin Williams smile? Laughter, a silent cry for help. Robin Williams embodied energy and joy. He could turn any moment into a spontaneous performance. He wasn't just funny, he was a genius of comedy. But behind the jokes, there was a painful truth. He made the world laugh, but inside he battled his own demons. He was a source of light for everyone, but struggled to find his own. His loved ones recalled, he could fill a room with laughter, but when he went home, his eyes told a different story. We often assume that the happiest people are the ones who have it all together, but sometimes a smile is the strongest shield, hiding the deepest wounds. When art becomes a cry from the soul. Robin Williams didn't just act, he lived in every character he portrayed. His performances weren't just entertainment, they were reflections of his soul. Dead Poet Society. He wasn't just a teacher, he was a voice that awakened sleeping hearts. Stand on your desk, look at the world in your own way. Good Will Hunting. He wasn't just a therapist, he was a healer through understanding. It's not your fault. A single line, but enough to change a life. Patch Adams. He wasn't just a doctor, he was love and laughter in a place filled with pain. Sometimes all a person needs is someone to care. Every role Robin Williams played wasn't just a performance. They were pieces of his heart that he gifted to the world. The legacy of a genius. The day Robin Williams left this world, millions were in shock. The man who made the world laugh left in solitude, but he never truly left. He still lives on, in every quote, every smile, every tear he ever inspired. He taught us that, even in the darkest moments, we can bring light to others. He reminded us that the ones who smile the most might be the ones who need love the most. And above all, no one should have to fight alone. If Robin Williams were still here, he might say, "Don't mourn because I'm gone. Smile because I was here." How has Robin Williams inspired you? Robin Williams, the voyager of laughter and darkness. Make the whole world laugh, even when your own heart is bleeding. Robin Williams was more than an actor. He was a spark, a whirlwind of energy, a machine built to bring joy. When he entered a room, the atmosphere shifted. When he spoke, people couldn't help but laugh. But what no one realized was that behind every laugh, he was drowning in a silence no one could reach. The journey from loneliness to legend. Robin Williams was not born into the spotlight. He was a lonely child, living in a big house that felt empty. No one to talk to, no one to understand the shy little boy. Instead of letting loneliness consume him, he turned it into power. He stood in front of the mirror, practicing voices, creating hundreds of characters. He mastered comedy, learning to transform pain into laughter. And when he stepped into the world, people couldn't ignore the brilliance before them. Good Morning, Vietnam. He didn't just act, he turned war news into a symphony of humor and heart. Dead Poets Society. He didn't just perform, he awakened the spirit of an entire generation. Mrs. Doubtfire. He made the world cry, laugh, and love, all with just a wig and a warm heart. Robin was not just an actor. He was a storyteller, a healer, a force of nature who used laughter to mend broken souls. But even the strongest need to be heard. People saw Robin laugh, but they never saw him break when the curtains closed. Depression, a silent monster that gnawed at his heart every day. Pressure, the burden of always being the one to bring joy. Loneliness, the cruel irony of the funniest man in the world feeling the most alone. He kept performing, kept smiling, kept shining, but the darkness inside him grew stronger. On August 11, 2014, Robin Williams left this world. The world was shattered, heartbroken, unable to comprehend. The man who made millions laugh couldn't save himself. But Robin never truly left. He lives on in every joke, every film, every moment of laughter he gifted us. He exists in the hearts of those who found comfort in his stories. He taught us that comedy is not just about jokes. It is about survival. He reminded us that even the strongest people need someone to listen. And most of all, we are not alone. If Robin Williams were still here, perhaps he would say, "Don't cry because I'm gone. Smile because I was here." What will you remember about Robin Williams? Robin Williams, the man who lit up the darkness. If you can bring a smile to someone's face, do it, because you never know what battles they are fighting. Robin Williams wasn't just a comedian. He was a man who understood pain, and instead of letting it consume him, he transformed it into laughter. But there was a moment in his life that not many people know about. A moment not on stage, not in a movie, but in real life. A moment that changed someone's life forever. A call in the darkest hour. In 2004, a young American soldier named Christopher Reeve Jr. lay in a hospital bed. He had been severely wounded on the battlefield in Iraq. His spirit broken, ready to give up on life. One day, as he lay there in despair, the phone rang. "Hello, this is Dr. Kupferberg. I am the leading neurologist in this hospital. I hear you are having serious problems with your head." Christopher froze. That wasn't a doctor. It was Robin Williams. Using a hilarious German accent, Robin made Christopher burst into laughter for the first time in months. And in that very moment, everything changed. Christopher later recalled, "I was ready to give up, but when Robin called me, he pulled me back. I realized that even in the darkest moments, there is still light." Robin didn't need an audience. He didn't do it for recognition. He simply wanted to save a life. A hero without a spotlight. Robin Williams always did this. No one knows how many calls, how many surprise visits he made to lift up those drowning in despair. He visited children's hospitals, wearing wigs, doing voices to make the kids laugh. He secretly helped hundreds of veterans suffering from PTSD without ever seeking credit. He did it all, without asking for thanks, without wanting applause. Because Robin understood, a single smile can save a life. A little light can chase away even the deepest darkness. But who would save Robin? When Robin passed away in 2014, the world was shocked, devastated. It turned out that the man who saved so many couldn't save himself. But think about the laughter he created. Think about the people he pulled back from the edge. Think about the light he brought to this world. Robin Williams never truly left. He lives on in every smile he once created. And maybe if he were here today, he would say, "Hey, if you ever feel lost, remember, I'm still here in your laughter." Has someone ever brought light into your darkest days? Robin Williams, the hero without a cape. You can have all the money in the world, but the real joy is making people happy. Robin Williams wasn't just an actor. He was a gift to the world. A man bursting with energy, shining like a flame, bringing light to those lost in the darkness. He didn't need a cape. He didn't need a title. But Robin Williams was a hero in the most simple and magical way. The smile that saved. There was a little boy named Cody. Cody had terminal cancer. His world had shrunk to the walls of a hospital where each passing day was another battle. But there was one thing that made him wake up each day with bright eyes: the phone calls from a very special friend, Robin Williams. No one asked Robin to do it. No contracts, no cameras, no audience. But day after day, he called Cody, impersonating different characters, telling jokes, talking to him like an old friend. And in those fleeting moments, Robin performed a miracle. He couldn't cure cancer, but he could make Cody forget his illness, forget the pain, forget the fear. Even if just for a moment, Robin Williams helped that little boy truly live. A silent hero. No one knew about these acts of kindness until Robin was gone. Then thousands of stories surfaced. He visited hospitals in secret, spending hours with patients who had lost all hope. He sent messages of encouragement, quietly helping the homeless and those in need. He always showed up for people who needed a smile, but never spoke about his own struggles. Robin saved so many hearts, but he couldn't save his own. On the day he left this world, the world fell silent. The people who once laughed because of him now wept. Bam! The legacy of a hero. But Robin Williams never truly left. He is still here, in every laugh, every film, every beautiful memory. He taught us that sometimes a smile can save a soul. He reminded us that kindness doesn't need recognition, it only needs to be given. And above all, love each other, because we never know the invisible battle someone is fighting. If Robin Williams were here, he might say, "Love, laugh, and give, because that's how I want to be remembered." Has a smile ever saved you? Robin Williams, when laughter becomes the strongest medicine. A day without laughter is a day wasted. Robin Williams was not just a comedian, he was a cure for the soul. When the world was in pain, he brought laughter. When people lost hope, he reminded them of joy. But there's one story that few people know. A story about how Robin Williams turned comedy into magic when pain is beyond measure. In 2004, Christopher Reeve, the legendary actor who played Superman, was facing the darkest time of his life. A tragic horse riding accident had left him completely paralyzed, and all hope seemed lost. One day, as he lay in the hospital, Christopher felt fear, agony, and despair. And then suddenly, the door swung open. A doctor walked in, dressed in surgical scrubs, wearing a mask, gloves in hand. With a thick Russian accent, he declared, "I am your doctor. We must operate immediately. If not, you will never walk again." Christopher was stunned. Then he burst into laughter. That doctor was none other than Robin Williams. Laughter is hope. Christopher later recalled that this was the first time he had laughed since the accident. For the first time, he felt like he could still live. Robin didn't bring a miracle. He couldn't help Christopher walk again. But he did something even greater. He gave him hope. He reminded us that even in the darkest times, there is always light. He proved that a single moment of laughter can save a life. A legacy that lives on is gone, but he left behind something that can never fade. Laughter. Love. Let's remember his words. If someone doesn't have a smile, give them one of yours. So have you smiled today? Robin Williams, the silent father, and his unspoken love. True love doesn't need to be grand. It only needs to be present. Robin Williams, with all his humor and boundless energy, became a legend on screen. But there was one role more important than any he ever played, the role of a father. He wasn't a strict or imposing father. He didn't force his expectations onto his children. Instead, he loved them in silence, in his own way. When a father is a legend. As a global superstar, Robin Williams was always busy. Films, tours, public appearances. But when he came home, he wasn't an actor. He was just a father. He used humor to erase the gap between generations. He taught life lessons not through lectures, but through witty stories. He encouraged his children to explore the world and find their own path. Robin understood that love didn't always need to be spoken. Sometimes it was found in the smallest moments, like staying up all night by his child's bedside when they were sick, or writing them hilarious letters when he was away. But even the strongest fathers have their fears. Robin Williams always wanted to be the perfect father, but he was also human, carrying his own burdens and insecurities. He once said that his greatest fear was disappointing his children. He struggled to balance his career and family, and he didn't always succeed. He worried if he was giving his children enough time, enough presence, enough love. And above all, he feared that one day, the darkness inside him might cast a shadow over the ones he loved most. But no matter what, he was always there, ready to listen, ready to love, ready to be their safe haven. A father's legacy. When Robin Williams left this world, his children didn't just lose a father. They lost a friend, a mentor, a guiding light. But his love didn't disappear. It lives on in every smile he ever created. It lives on in the values he passed down. And it lives on in the countless people he touched, even those he never met. If Robin were here, he might say, "Love the people around you. You don't need the perfect words. Just being there is enough." Have you ever felt an unspoken love from someone dear to you?